DDS2, which is the second oscillator present on the UDO Super 6. It's a different sort of oscillator. The DDS1 and the DDS2 are actually two different types of oscillators. The DDS1 has this centroid. Well, it's a thing I'll talk about when I talk about the DDS modulator. It's special. The DDS2 is just an algorithmic oscillator, but it has some other functions. It does have some of the same waveforms present on the DDS1, like, for example, this sine wave. Yeah, I know what a sound wave sounds like. Yeah. Am I in the wrong place? Oh, yeah, it's a preset. Anyway, for example, this sine wave. Which is pretty cool if you have two sine waves. You can get some pretty, because Hammond organs are made up of sine waves, you can get some pretty Hammond-y sort of stuff. Which is cool. One thing that I have noticed on the DDS2 is that when you hold a chord, here, listen. You can hear it kind of, it has a stereo nature, like it's already stereo. And it starts off more in the center and then moves stereo. Listen. So we're really getting kind of the binaural deal going on with this DDS2. So I guess, I mean, if they're different types of oscillators, perhaps the sawtooths are different. But no aliasing in the DDS2 either. We also have a square wave, or the a square wave. Which is helpful, and you might say, well, you might know that there is also the pulse width modulated square wave present on there too, and you might say, well, why are both there? And it's because of the fact that DDS2 can become an LFO, which we'll talk about, triangle. Let's see if there's a difference between that triangle and this triangle, apart from octave. And tuning. Maybe not. I don't know. They sound good together. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so also we have noise on DDS2. Not very loud noise. Let's make sure our volume's at a reasonable level here. And then we have a square wave with pulse width modulation. We haven't talked about the DDS modulator section, but that's where your square wave pulse modulation exists. It's interesting that well, I mean, there's probably variations in the pulse width modulation between the two Super 6 sections, but it's not immediately evident. It'd be interesting if you could pulse width modulate each of the square waves separately. But wow, that is a very big sound, and it's very nice. If you mix that with a square, I bet it sounds good. That is very big. That is a very big sound. Holy cow. Yeah, I was overdriving it there a bit. That is a big sound. We haven't really talked about the mixer yet, but I think we're about to fall into that because there's weird stuff coming that we have to deal with that the mixer is involved with. Something that you probably have figured out is that DDS2, you can tune it to different interval than DDS1. Just kind of a minor seventh there. Of course, the minute you detune DDS2 against DDS1, especially with these square waves going on, you're going to get something really giant. Really, really big and very nice. Okay. So, yep, you have interval tuning. You can tune that second oscillator, meaning that, there's a lot of oscillators being tuned differently. Okay, so if we come down here, we have a different octave range in DDS2 than we do in DDS1. DDS1 goes down to 64, but in the place of 64, there's a box that says LFO. Now, when you're in the normal setting and you switch it to LFO, you get nothing. It's broken. No, what has happened is that now, within the context of this synthesizer, DDS2 is now an LFO. And if you went down into the modulation assign, where you can see DDS2, you could assign DDS2 to control various functions on the synthesizer as an LFO, which would be quite interesting, especially if you're using it to control aspects of the LFO. So yeah, you have the ability to make it an LFO just by switching it into the LFO section.